Welcome to Unraveling Relationships, Emotions, and Desires. I am your host, Dr. Sheila Hodge-Windover. Today, we are truly graced by the presence of our distinguished guest, Dr. James W. Sutton. Good. All right, so welcome back to part two of this interesting conversation with Dr. Sutton. Thank you very much again, Dr. Sutton, for
You're
taking.
welcome.
Yes. And so in part one, you did an amazing job. I didn't even have to tell you it's time to transition from part one to part two. You went from the formative years and then it flew so smoothly into the academic journey. We started the academic journey without my even saying, okay, let's turn to the academic journey. So we went straight into that academic journey. And you mentioned how the challenges that you had to face in elementary school as well as high school, but you did not let that stop you. You had a dream of going to college. Why?
Well, in 1947, my mother was giving birth to my second sister,
Mhm.
and she was having difficulty um, when she was in labor.
Mhm.
So they sent for the midwife, because in those days, the women would have their children and whoever is around would assist.
Mhm.
The midwife came and discovered that the baby was not in a good position. It was in breech position.
Mhm.
And she did not have the expertise to deliver my mother. So she had to call the doctor. The doctor came to the house on a horse.
A horse.
Yes, in those days, cars were too expensive for doctors. So horses were what they used. So he came to the house on a horse, and I was playing outside. And he said, "Hi, young man, would you like to hold the reins of this horse for me?" So I said, yes. So he gave me the reins of the horse. So he went in, did what he had to do. I heard the cry of a baby. So I figured my mother had given birth. And then he came by and he says, "Do you like the horse?" I said, yes, I like the horse. He says, "Well, when you become a doctor like me, you'll get a horse." So I became a doctor, but I don't have a horse. I only got horsepower in my car.
Oh, that is interesting. You became a doctor to get a horse. Mm.
Yes. So I followed his advice. I became a doctor, but I can't get a horse.
Horse. That's funny. But you did have a vehicle, okay? And
Yes, it
the
had horsepower.
yes, and the car tag number was 1266.
Really?
Yes, I remember that
How do you know that?
because I remember
What was the color of the car?
red.
Pardon?
It was red or maroon, something like that.
Maroon. And what
Oh,
other color? It
wait, you're
was,
not supposed to be testing my memory.
it was two-tone.
Wait. I'm the one asking the questions, okay?
All right, continue questioning.
Okay, besides the joke now,
Ah,
what made you want to become a medical doctor?
that's what I told you.
Okay, is that the truth? The whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Well, there's an addition to that.
Okay.
I He told me that when I became a doctor, I could get a horse. So that was always in the back of my
So
mind.
you really loved horses then.
Well, at that time.
Okay.
But that went completely out of my mind until my mother had a pain in her left side. We were living in Anguilla at the time, and she had to go to St. Kitts
Hmm.
because there was no doctor in Anguilla who would be able to operate. There were no surgeons. Surgeons were in St. Kitts. And Dr. Lake was the surgeon in St. Kitts, the only surgeon. My mother died.
Sad.
So we went up to St. Kitts after my mother died. And my father asked Dr. Lake, I was there as a child, I was 14, what happened? And he said he did not know. And I was really grief-stricken. So I said to him, I said, how do you mean you don't know? You're the doctor. He said, well, the surgery, I did the surgery, and the surgery was successful. So I don't know why she died. And it always bothered me. How could an operation be successful and the patient dies? I did not get the answer to that question until I became a doctor and was doing anesthesiology.
Okay.
In the day that my mother had the operation, the anesthetic was ether. And it was only discovered later on that when diabetics were given ether during an operation, they suffered a metabolic acidosis. And if the doctor is not aware of it, the patient dies.
What's a metabolic?
It means that the chemicals in the ether made her whole body acid, and the brain cannot deal with acid. So she died. Okay. It took me years to discover why my mother died.
Yeah.
So I blamed the doctor all those years until finally I realized it was not the doctor's fault. It really wasn't anybody's fault, because in those days, they did not have the medical knowledge to know that a diabetic given ether would create a metabolic acidosis that threatened the life of the patient.
Wow. So did that help you get closure?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I was angry all those years until I discovered. And then I felt guilty that I was off the man and told him a lot of stuff.
Okay. I did not know you're capable of cursing.
Well, not to his face.
Oh, okay.
Under my breath, in my mind, and
yeah.
you know. Yeah.
So when you became a medical doctor, was he also practicing as a medical doctor?
Yes.
Okay. What was it like for you working with a man, a medical doctor you thought murdered your mom?
I never worked with him.
Oh, you never worked with him.
You remember in St. Kitts, I worked by myself. I opened my own office. I used to see babies at the hospital because nobody looked after them. You remember that? You don't remember that?
No, I don't know that.
Yeah. I used to give free service to newborn babies at the hospital.
I did not know that.
Because there was no pediatrician at the time, if you remember. There was no pediatrician. So newborn babies, as a matter of fact, I was the first doctor who put in an umbilical catheter in a premature baby. And I left it in, I sewed it in, And when I came back, it was out. And when I said, well, who took this out? They said, the nurse, the head nurse. So when I went to the head nurse, I said, well, why did you remove? She says, the baby premature, baby can't survive. I said, who determines that? And look, I was so upset. I said, the next time You do that, I will flatten you. I don't know if you will survive after that. I said, you don't touch any other patient of mine.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I was so upset. So after that, nobody dared to touch any baby without calling me.
Mm-hmm. So at that time, did they have an incubator for babies who were premature?
No,
Wow.
that's to tell you how backward it think it was at that time.
Like what year are you talking about?
That was, when did I first know you? That year. Those were the years. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go back to school. You
Yeah,
went to Canada to go to college. Were you
yeah.
planning to become a medical doctor
That was one of the objectives, yeah.
with no money?
Yeah.
Okay. And
But it wasn't that I was going to do it and expect them to give me gratis. I expected to work my way through
mhm.
university, which I
Okay.
did.
And how many years did it take you?
4
What did you say?
4 years.
Okay. Can you describe those 4 years, please?
Well, those were my undergrad years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how do I describe those 4 years? Working in the summers to make money to pay my tuition for the following year and all my living expenses.
Mm-hmm.
That's food and board. It was tough. But I had help along the way. The university never uh, hunted me down for their money. I left university owing the university thousands and thousands of dollars. And they told me at the end of it that it was okay. I did not have to repay all the money I owed them.
Wow, that's wonderful.
And I have a feeling it's because I was very active at university.
Mm-hmm.
I started, well, I didn't start it. I was elected Caribbean Circle president, and I revolutionized the Caribbean Circle and the awareness of the Caribbean on campus.
Mm-hmm.
I started teaching ballroom dancing and calypso dancing to students and anybody else who wanted to attend. And because of that kind of social activity, and I would have, fetes and stuff as part of the Caribbean Circle thing. Because of that, a guy by the name of Bob Hutton was student president my second year at university. And he made me internal affairs commissioner for the student union. Although I told him I didn't want the position, he still stuck it onto me. And I felt a little obliged to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I did too good a job because the next year, without me campaigning or anything, and although I protested, they still elected me with 60% of the votes to be student president.
That's wonderful. That speaks well.
Well, and after they elected me student president, they impeached me.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm confused. Help me understand that.
Well, when I got to university, the university used to show movies.
Mm-hmm.
They had this old carbon arc projector. You may not never have seen one. It's an old thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to have these reels, and the negatives on the reels used to break
Mm-hmm.
because the thing used to be so old. And when I became student president,
Mm-hmm.
I now decided I could do something about that,
Mm-hmm.
forgetting that I have to pass it through the students' union, the council. So I'm on vacation, and I see this Bell and Howell, desktop projector, state of the art, new invention. And I said, well, I can't wait until I go back to university and ask these people to buy this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went ahead and bought it, man, and charged it to the Saint FX Students Union. So the Students Union got this bill for, for this projector.
Mm-hmm.
And so they asked me, how come? So I told them how it happened. And they said, but you can't do that. I said, but the thing is, the Students' Union was not in session. And they said to me, well, then you wait until the Students' Union is in session. I said, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, we have to impeach you. So they impeached me, and they went through the motions. I was impeached, and I said, "Okay, so what are you going to do now?" They said, "Nothing." I said, "What do you mean nothing?" They said, "Well, you're still student president."
Oh my
So,
goodness. So what was the purpose of the impeachment?
to send a clear message to me that I should not do that kind of thing without students' union approval. And it was a good message.
Okay.
I never did anything again after that
To
without
that.
it.
You learned your lesson.
Yeah, I understood after that, because the guy who actually brought the impeachment petition
Mm-hmm.
was my treasurer, and he was a very nice guy. And I mean, after the impeachment, he came to me and he says, "Look, this was not personal, right?" He says, "I like you as a person. Um, we haven't had someone who is, as positive as you and stuff like that, but you just have to bring things to the union. It's the procedure,
Yes,
and
yes.
break the procedure." And I think it was a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was a trait that I learned from my father. My father never asked permission for anything. He
Mm-hmm.
did what he wanted. You didn't like it, tough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a very good lesson for me. I
That,
never did after that anything without asking permission.
I'm glad you can see the positive in it. Because
Oh,
it,
it was very positive for me.
yes.
It was humiliating,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that was the
Did,
lesson.
did they put your picture in the newspaper, the school newspaper?
About that?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
no, no. They realized that I came from a different background. I came from a high authoritarian kind of setting, and that kind of stuff. Because there were other West Indian students at the university,
Mm-hmm.
so they understood.
Okay. Well,
And
I
not
have
only that, I was doing good things on campus
oh,
too.
yeah, okay.
And in addition to that, I was the only person on campus that Mother St. William at the convent would allow to take out one of her nuns on a social evening.
Wow, she trusted you.
Yes,
Wow.
I used to take this nun out everywhere, to parties, and even to parties, dance parties. And
Okay.
Mother St. William would say, "Oh, yes, James, yes, James." You can take her. Yeah, she can go. Yeah.
So you
And
build you build a reputation for
I never
yourself.
betray, I never betrayed the trust.
Yes, you build a reputation for yourself.
Build trust. You
Yes.
don't take it for granted.
Oh.
You know. Yeah, I never violated that trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You mentioned ballroom dancing. That
Yes.
doesn't sound Caribbeanish. So how did you get into ballroom dancing?
My last year of high school, Fitzroy Bryant was a teacher at the school. You know him.
Yes.
Okay. Fitzroy started a ballroom dancing class on a Saturday afternoons. I enrolled. It was free for the students.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't dance. So I would pick a girl up, and of course I can't dance. So of course she'd walk off the floor and go back and sit down. And none of the girls wanted to dance with me. I was walking down 4th Street next to the bookstore. I forget the name of the bookstore, but the bookstore on 4th Street, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
And in the glass case, I saw this book by Carl something or the other. Bryant, no, yeah, Carl Bryant on ballroom dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked in and I bought it. I saw one on Victor Sylvester. I bought that too.
You bought a book on ballroom dancing?
2 books. I saw one in a case, and when I went into the thing, I saw another one, so I bought both of them. And I went home. We didn't have a gramophone or anything to play any records. So I was working at CHA, and I went and trusted a gramophone, stereo set.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought records, and I used to use my younger sister, Eleanor, as my partner. I
Mm-hmm.
would have the book in one hand and she in the other hand, and we will take the steps because the steps were all mapped out in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I started the ballroom dancing. And I did that at home. And we would go to the Factory Social Center on a Saturday night or Friday night,
Mm-hmm.
and none of the girls would dance with me. So I used to be there and just looking on because none of them would dance with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would still go. And then when I thought that my sister was ready, I asked my father if I could take her to the Factory Social Center, and he gave me permission, although she was underage. When I got to the door, the guy looked at her, and he knew that none of the girls would dance with me. So he said, "I see you bring your partner." I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, I won't charge for her. Go in." So we went in,
Mm-hmm.
and we sat down, and I bought a drink for both of us. And the boys would pass, like Wycliffe Beard would pass, and he would make a joke. He said, "Oh, I see you bring your sister to keep you company since you don't have anybody to dance with." And they did not know that I was practicing with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I let the taunting go on until finally a waltz came on.
Mm-hmm.
And I took her up. I waited until everybody was on the dance floor. And I took her up. I walked onto the dance floor and we started dancing.
Hmm.
And when we started dancing, everybody stopped.
To look at you.
They cleared the floor, they lined the walls, and they watched.
Mm-mm.
And they watched. And she and I danced song after song, and they washed. And then after that, all the girls want to dance with me, but I refused.
You
I
taught them a
only
lesson.
I only danced with my sister.
You taught them a lesson.
Well, I don't know if I taught them a lesson, but I snubbed them.
So you turned rejection around. They rejected you because you could not dance.
That's right.
And you use that to motivate you to learn how to dance.
Yes. And one of the individuals who snubbed me was a girl called Steffi Estefan. Tressie Estefan, I don't know if you know her.
No.
She married a guy, his father was a doctor. Kelsick, Ronald Kelsick.
Okay.
She married Ronald Kelsick. They're here in Canada. I mean, they live in Canada. No. Canada? No, here. They live in Antigua, sorry. They live in Antigua. Ronald died, but Tress is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's how I became a dancer.
Wow.
Yeah. And I must admit, I'm a very good dancer.
Interesting.
I moved from, I did all that kinds of dancing. I did the waltz, I did the foxtrot, I did the quick step, I did swing, did calypso and merengue. Now I do salsa.
Am I gonna get to see you dance tonight?
No, but I can send you
A clip?
a clip of Dawn and myself dancing. She can send it. Yeah.
Would it be okay if I add it to this video?
Is it okay? Dawn says it's okay.
Oh wow. All right.
Whatever Dawn says goes.
Interesting. So I I just can't believe that they taught dancing in your days because I can't recall dancing being part of the curriculum or part of any after school program when I was going to school.
Well, the guy Bryant did it as a Saturday afternoon extracurricular event.
Okay. But I should say,
Fitzroy Bryant. Fitzroy
yes,
Bryant.
yeah.
Yes.
Even if there was a program for dancing, I should say I would not have known because my mom would not have allowed us to go either. Because we grew up in church, and in those days, church had certain rules and dancing, you know.
Some churches still have that.
In my days, nah, it would not have been
Some
accepted.
churches today still have that.
Okay.
I don't understand why, but they still have it.
Yes.
And the irony of it, dancing came out of the church.
Yes. 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 Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to medical school now.
Yeah.
So you started medical school, you struggled, you worked hard, you got good grades.
I didn't say good grades. I passed.
You passed. How easy was it to get a job after you graduated from college?
Again, which one? I graduated twice. I graduated with a BSc. I had no difficulty getting a teaching job.
Okay.
And I taught at Blind River District High School in Northern Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was there, I got accepted at the University of the West Indies. And I went down to the University of the West Indies, but didn't have enough money to go back because I was not sponsored by the St. Kitts government. So the university wrote me and said that the St. Kitts government said that they would not sponsor me. I guess because my father was not a Labour person and always criticized Bradshaw. So he used to write stuff in the papers about Bradshaw.
Oh, okay. So politics.
Politics.
Things.
So I could not go, I did not go back.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 10 years to save up enough money. And I wrote to the dean
Mm-hmm.
to say I wanted to come back. I wrote a letter, and then I got a telephone call from the dean, who was my anatomy professor when I was there the first time. And he said, "What happened to you?" He says, "Of course, we want you back." He says, "You were a good student in anatomy." I was a good student in anatomy, and I'm very good with my hands. So I was a good dissector.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to help other students, do dissecting and that kind of stuff. So he remembered me from those times. And so when I told him why I didn't come back, he said, "But you should have called me or written to me or something."
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I got back.
So he believed in you,
Yeah.
saw your
And he was very
potential.
happy to have me back. He was now the dean of medicine. And so I went back, and the rest is history.
Okay, no, tell us the history after.
Well, I finished medical school.
Mm-hmm.
I went for internship in Trinidad, and then I opened my office in St. Kitts on 4th Street.
So we are in Trinidad. Did you complete your internship?
Well, I first went to San Fernando because there is where I had an opening. So I was accepted in San Fernando.
Mm-hmm. You know, Sparrow has a song about San Fernando, right?
Yeah, but I don't know it.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Anyway, I started in San Fernando, but at that time I was married
Mm-hmm.
and I had children. And there was no school in San Fernando that I could send them to. So I asked for a transfer to Port of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the transfer to Port of Spain. And then I had my wife and children come down to Port of Spain. And I only wanted them there for 1 year because I wanted my children to experience life in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted them schooled in Canada, so I couldn't keep them too long. So I kept them for 1 year in Canada, in Port of Spain. And then I sent them back to Canada. And then when I got finished my internship and went to St. Kitts, I don't know if you remember, I had them back down again in St. Kitts.
I didn't know, I don't know your kids.
Or you don't know. Okay, but I had them down in St. Kitts to go to school in St. Kitts for 1 year. So they had 1 year school in Trinidad,
Mm-hmm.
1 year school in St. Kitts,
Okay.
but not consecutively.
Mm-hmm. So when you first came to St. Kitts, that's when you started your private practice?
Yes,
What year was that?
84, I think.
Okay. So what I remember about you first was that my mom had twin sons. And when they were very small, they were very light. They're light skin. When they were very small, both of them had lots of sores on their skin. And she brought them to you. And you said they're allergic to mosquito. Keep them in long sleeve clothes at home because they're allergic to mosquito. And after she did that, all the spots and sores disappeared. And I always wondered, how did you figure out, where did you learn that medicine to just look at the spots and know that they were just mosquito bites?
Experience. I must have seen them in Trinidad, because Trinidad had lots of mosquitoes.
Yeah. Remember Canada in between universities of the West Indies?
Hmm?
Canada. Canada. Remember you did some courses in Canada, Toronto University.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Don is reminding me that I also did courses in Canada. I did electives, not courses, electives in Canada.
Okay.
And I did do dermatology.
Wait, so okay. I'm still confused. How that, because that happened They were seen by many other doctors before, and they were suffering for a long time, and
Well,
you just looked at them.
okay, just hold that thought
Mm-hmm.
and that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an interesting situation.
Okay.
I came to Antigua, and before I set up my office, another doctor here asked me if I would come and see patients with him um, in the afternoons,
Mm-hmm.
beginning at 4 o'clock, because he had lots of patients, and he needed the help.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yes, I can help. So this lady, a white lady, English, came in to see me, and I usually do a general exam after listening to her story.
Mm-hmm.
So after listening to her story, I'm now going to examine her.
Mm-hmm.
So during the examination, I looked at her and I said, you have a heart murmur. I said, you have mitral valve prolapse. So I treated her for the problem she had,
Mm-hmm.
that she came to me for, and I gave her a handwritten note saying, look, remember, you have mitral valve prolapse. I'm writing it on a piece of paper, mitral valve
Yeah.
prolapse.
Without doing an echocardiogram or EKG.
Yeah, you don't need that to see. All you have to do is to put your ear to the chest of the patient, which I normally do.
They
And
don't do that anymore.
well, if I had a patient, I'll still do it. Anyway, and I listen to the beat, to the heartbeat,
Mm-hmm.
and I listen for the murmurs. You have to have a trained ear for that. You see, I did cardiology in Canada as part of an elective.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, I didn't learn it in the Caribbean. I learned it in Canada.
Okay.
Anyway, this lady came to me, and I said to her she had mitral valve prolapse.
Mm-hmm.
I treated her, and she went back to England or whatever. 6 months later, I now had another office in a place called English Harbor here in Antigua. And this white lady came in. She sat down. She smiled. I said, can I help you? And she said, you don't remember me? I said, should I? She said, yes. You're the one who told me I had mitral valve prolapse. And I should see my doctor when I go back to England. So I did. I went to my GP, and he examined me. And when he was finished, I asked him, I said, so how am I, doctor? She said, oh, you're in the pink of health. She said, I said to him, oh, that crazy Dr. D'Anguilla tells me I have mitral valve prolapse. He says, he did what? He says, he told me that I have mitral valve prolapse. He said, well, let me listen to your heart again. So he listened to her. I said, he's right. You've got mitral valve prolapse. So he sent her to a cardiologist. She went to the cardiologist. The cardiologist examined her and said, wow, you are a very lucky woman. She said, lucky? He says, you could have died from this thing. So she came back to Antigua to thank me,
Wow.
only to thank me.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, I was a little touched about that,
Mm-hmm.
that she would spend all that money just to come back to Antigua just to thank me, claiming that I saved her life.
Mm-hmm. And
Well,
you did? You
maybe I
did?
did. I don't know.
How you mean you don't know? I'm
Anyway, she was alive up to that point.
Good point. So, how many years did you practice medicine?
I don't know. You have to count the years from 1984 until 2019.
No,
Oh,
When was COVID?
COVID.
2019.
yeah, but you didn't stop in 2019.
Oh, Dawn is correcting me to say I didn't stop until 2020, and that's possible.
Oh, so you stopped during the height of COVID.
Yeah,
At what point?
2020.
Yeah, like mid-year or
No, I don't know,
don't know.
because I discovered COVID here in Antigua before COVID became a pandemic.
Tell me more about that.
I didn't know it was COVID.
Mhm.
I met the patient. I didn't understand what was going on. I knew he was very ill, and I knew he coughed in my face, and I knew that I came down with something that felt like a rope, trying to split me in two across my waist. I became very weak and slight fever and that kind of stuff.
Wow.
But I didn't stop practicing.
You didn't let that stop you.
No. And then it was a year or two after that, I realized it was COVID.
Next year.
Huh?
The next year.
Was next year? Dawn tells me the next year.
Next
You
year,
see, Dawn keeps a catalog of all these things.
yes, women do. Women have a memory bank for emotional
Yeah.
stuff. Wow. Okay, so you've practiced medicine in Anguilla, Antigua, and
Mm-hmm.
St. Kitts.
Mm-hmm. And in Trinidad.
Or Trinidad. Okay. What was the similarities and differences in those 4 locations?
I also practiced in Jamaica. No, I went to medical school in Jamaica.
Okay.
And I used to go to assist a surgeon. So I did. I used to do surgery with him. He used to let me. He used to teach me surgery
Mm-hmm.
unofficially. It wasn't. It wasn't a program.
Okay. Because
He
he
would come.
trusted you.
Yeah, he and I were very good friends because I went to medical school late, so he and I were close in age,
Mm-hmm.
and we just you know we just clicked.
What was
So
one of
whenever he had an operation to do at night, because daytime I go to school, at night, anytime he had an operation to do at night, he would call me, come and pick me up, and go and show me these different techniques. So I became very good at that.
That's
And then I
priceless.
did an elective in peripheral vascular surgery at Toronto East General Hospital with Dr. Woods.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that. And I just did a lot of things.
What was which island you had the most memorable experiences?
Sorry?
Where did you have the most memorable experiences? Was it Trinidad, St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla? Oh, you never worked in Nevis, right?
You mean working experiences?
Yes.
Anguilla, because I spent the most time there.
What is one thing you will never forget about Anguilla?
About my experiences.
Yes.
I was called to see an old lady by her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter sounded distraught. She said that her mother was just trembling. She's blacked out. She's unconscious. They called the doctor from the hospital, who was a surgeon as well. And the doctor said she was dying and there's nothing that he can do. But she wanted the treming, the tremors to stop because she was just shaking uncontrollably.
Yeah.
So she called me by phone and explained that her mother is blacked out She's shaking bodily. She called the doctor, who came and said there's nothing can do. She wants to know if I could come and just stop the trembling for her. So I went down. I immediately did a blood test on her, a finger prick test with a dipstick, and realized that she was a diabetic. So the lady was in diabetic coma. Of course, would eventually die if nothing happened.
Yes.
So I quickly got into my car, went to the hospital, got some insulin, went back, gave her 50 milligrams of it, and she came to. So they had it around Anguilla that I brought the woman back from the dead.
That's a good thing to say about you, right?
Well, it improved my practice, and it made me the doctor of the chief minister,
Yeah.
who also became my friend. Both he and his wife became my friends, and his daughter.
So it sounds like if your mom had someone around who knew the stuff that you know now, she definitely would not have died.
No, she would not have. But that knowledge was not available in St. Kitts or most of the Caribbean in those days.
So was it a practice? So this lady in Anguilla who they credit you for bringing her back.
Yeah.
Was it like a practice of yours to prick people who were?
What's that?
Was it your practice to prick people and test their blood right away?
If they're comatose, yes, because one of the reasons for blacking out is diabetes.
Okay.
Too much blood sugar going to the brain knocks them out.
Is that something that you pay attention to yourself in terms of your own health?
My own health, I don't fool around with my medications. I take them when I have to. And if I forget, whenever I remember, I take them.
Okay. Okay. Any special memories about St. Kitts other than my memory of you getting my brother's skin back to normal?
You know, that's information that I didn't know anything about. I didn't remember that about your mother and her skin.
My brother's.
Your brother's skin.
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah.
I didn't know. I don't remember any of that.
And you mentioned how you always listen to the history and then you do a physical. I don't know if you know in these days, medical doctors don't do that. You can go to them and talk to them about one or two things. There is no.
That is not true.
Well, I'm telling you from my experience over here, when you go to the doctor, they don't want you to do a thorough examination.
Well, you said these days. That has always been so.
Oh, that's what you think. You
Yeah.
have to make another appointment to go back for the next problem.
Yeah. Well, I always thought that was malpractice. And I decided I was not going to be doing that kind of practice. No, I think that's cheating people.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that people should cheat people or lie to them or deceive them.
So what made you think about the whole person? Because most people, the reason they don't think about the whole person is because of time and money. I mean, the longer you stay with a patient, the less money you make. So what made you think about the whole person from?
Because medicine for me was not because of money. I never did medicine to get rich. I did medicine to help people.
Wait, I thought it was to get a horse. I'm just joking.
Well, that's why I don't have the horse.
So, by the way, have you ever ridden on a horse?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where and when?
Not St. Kitts, sorry. Canada.
Canada.
Mm-hmm.
What were the circumstances?
But I had a girlfriend who was a horse rider. She was filthy rich.
Ooh. And you're
And
poor? You had a girlfriend who was filthy rich and you're poor?
that's why I'm still poor, because when she wanted to pay for my medical training, I
Mhm.
refused.
What?
That's right.
Something is wrong with your brain?
That's what her father said.
Gosh. Man, you had it good and you gave it all up. You would have been.
No, you see, this woman did not know what the word no is. I'll tell you what I mean. She threw a party that she invited me to. I accompanied her to the store, Eaton's, to pick up this dress.
Mhm.
And the one she liked, which I approved of, was a green gown, beautiful gown,
Mhm.
very expensive. She put it on her account. She had the party. I was at the party. After the party, I remained at the house overnight.
Mhm.
And the next day, she took the dress back to the store.
Mhm.
I was with her, and they took the dress back and apologized to her. I didn't get that. I could never do that. They would never take it back. But this filthy rich chick,
Yes.
they take back the dress. And now they have to put it as a second, so that somebody will get it, at a cheaper rate, but at least
What was her reason for taking it back?
because she could.
Just like that?
Rich people don't spend money. That's why they're rich. If they can get away with it, they will. She taught me that. Oh, yeah. She also took, not from that store, but another store,
Mhm.
she took a whole set of drinking glasses and whatnot for the same party. And she took all of them back. And they took them back
So she had different value system to you.
because she's rich.
Yes.
Rich people don't spend money.
How about
I can
saying
tell
some?
you that.
How
Huh?
about saying some? Oh.
What's that?
How about saying some of them don't?
All of them don't spend the money they should spend. They get lots of perks. Look at Donald Trump. Did you spend any money?
Okay, so you could have gotten your
Oh, you
education
avoided
for
that
free.
one because
No,
you
because
live in his country.
I'm not talking politics, American politics at all. I'm not getting into American politics.
You afraid the Donald?
No, I just think it's the nastiest thing to think about
That
American
is true.
politics.
Politics is not a good thing
No,
to know.
there's no standard, there's no value system that you can learn from to
No,
next
politics
for
everywhere
the
is
next generation. I think the next generation is gonna be worse off because
the
of
cleanest politics I've seen so far is Canadian politics.
really.
Yes.
Okay. Hmm, interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? I
What?
think this is a really good time to take another break. Thank you for listening to Unraveling Relationships, Emotions, and Desires. The compelling story of Dr. James W. Sutton continues next week, and we hope you'll join us. In the meantime, let us remember the wisdom of Ecclesiastes. There is a time and a place for every purpose under heaven. Life asks for more than just our survival instincts. It also invites us to live courageously and fabulously. Be part of the community by sharing your perspective at www.unravelred.com. www.unravelred.com.